here the Cowboys are going to be in cover two, and the Packers come out in 12 personnel in a Detroit formation. And we're going to see them run a dagger concept down here at the bottom, which is pretty tough against cover two. So here we'll take a look at the technique of number 33 here, playing this middle read technique or deep middle here in cover two, and how, maybe he could have played this a little bit better, or at least been a little bit more competitive on the route. But ultimately, what you're going to see here, dagger concept, when we say dagger, what we're referring to here is two down the seam vertical and a deep dig behind it. And the reason this is tough is because 33 here as the middle read player, technically his responsibility is to carry speed down the middle. So to carry two vertical down the middle of the field here. The one exception to that would be dagger, which is right here when you get this dig. Technically, he needs to come off and make this play on 87 here, getting the ball. Okay, now it's tough, but the way that we need to teach this or to rep this here is as I'm running with two, my eyes got to remain through 2-1. So as he starts to sit down, now I can come off. Why? Because I've got two safeties behind me. And if they're not running both of these guys vertical, now see number one here, see this deep safety? Once 87 sits, he flies over the top. So now we've got three guys on that deep post, essentially, and nobody on this dagger. Okay, and what we need there is 33 to be a little bit more awareness, a little bit more vision of number one. So when his hips start to break down, now I can come off of this deep route from the tight end or from the slot, and I can come off on this dagger, okay? So here you're going to see it wide open. Part of that is on the rush, right? We're bringing four here, and he's got enough time to play action fake and let this thing get 17 yards down the field and hit it over the middle of the field. But the real part of that here is him not having vision of one. Even here you see him kind of turn his back. See his back turn there? He has no vision of number one. The other part of that is this nickel, number two here. He can get a little bit more depth initially. As it starts to progress throughout the play, I think he just latches on, but ultimately we could use a little more body help from him. But really, again, this comes down to 33, just playing through 2-1 on the dagger route, coming off on 87 there on the dagger. Okay, so let's take a look at it real quick from the back. I can't see it too well, but you can kind of see at least his eyes start to work, or at least they should. See him here, his eyes are on two. As you start to pedal, he's very aware of two down the seam, which I get because that's the home run play that they can't have. But as you're working, you got to continue to see through to number one, and then come off on that dig. Here's the rush. Okay, they got really look at what they're trying to do here from a rush perspective. They've got 97 working across the center, and they're trying to create. Look at how much space they give Micah Parsons here. This is like old Michael Jordan rules. Everybody get on that side of the court and let him work one-on-one with space. Okay, so that's what they're doing here. Here he goes speed to power and gets a nice little rush. At least gets Jordan Love off the spot, but ultimately that he just has too much time, and we have nobody on the dig or on the dagger. So not a great. Okay, so here the Cowboys are in man-to-man against Green Bay's 12 personnel. You can tell it's man-to-man here, obviously, by this corner running with motion, and then he's actually going to run back with him again. Okay, but when we look at this formation, this actually is a similar formation to what we saw in the last play with the Detroit, only they have this wing and the Z inverted up here at the top. The tight end is off, which is going to be important for us in a second here. But essentially, same formation, 2x2, teacup type formation, man-to-man, cover one. So we've got the corners, or this corner down here is locked up. Number two is locked on 11. And then we've got man up top as well. Now, what's interesting here is with this Y off, what's important for us to note with single high 8-man spacing is this is essentially we have to treat this like a two-back play. Okay, so that motion, that's just to confuse us. First motion across, this is to identify the coverage. Okay, man to man. But now once they get him across here, now this motion is just to try to mess with run fits. Okay, they're just trying to get the linebackers to bump or to mess with their run fits. But since they're in man-to-man here, it doesn't affect us at all. Okay, so these three, 14, 33, and number one are going to have to treat this like a two-back run. Okay, the Y off here creates the second back. So as we get split zone is what this is here. It's hand back, but it's essentially split zone action. What we're going to have to see here is we're going to have to key this wing, okay, this tight end. So as he comes back, all three of these linebackers need to be on a string here, rock back, because now there's really two ways to play this, okay? You tell 14, you have the tight end locked no matter what. So if he goes behind, I got to go behind right now, and I got to chase him. And then the linebackers can fit their interior gaps. Or the three of them have got to be on a string and treat this 3-on-2 in coverage. So as he slices back, everybody bounces back. Now we've got to get outside because that's my man-to-man in coverage. and then everybody's got to fall back one gap. Here, they're really doing neither of those things, okay? None of these linebackers have any awareness of that wing, that tight end coming back across, okay? Return or slice or whatever you want to call it, okay? So as he starts to come back, really all three of them need to be on a string here. Instead, we're getting reached. Now, this is a split zone handback, which is actually designed to be a perimeter play. So you're going to see the tight end looking to log, looking to reach the corner. Now he goes so wide that he just pushes him out. But this is designed to be a perimeter play. But what we need here is number one, first of all, false steps, eyes in the wrong place. But he's got to be outside of this block, getting up here to set the edge on 85. He should be beating the corner to this because that's his man once he comes back across. 33, we've got to get you back into the B gap, okay? And then 14, you are now our A gap player, okay? You don't have, they all get enamored with this emotion from number 11, but this is man to man. That motion has nothing to do with them. Okay, the corner's got that taken care of. Now we just put our eyes in the right place and we all rock back together and we fit this thing up 3-on-2 and we should have no play. Instead, this is an 8-yard gain. Okay, so this is kind of the story of the day for the Cowboys was just didn't fit the run well, getting mushed around, but ultimately this is an eye violation. Okay, this is poor eyes, poor fit, and you see the result here of 8-yard gain. Let's take a look at it from the back real quick. Okay, here we are. So again, these three, 14, 33, and number 1, are going to have 85 and 33, 3-on-2, man-to-man, okay? So if 85 stays front side, then we need 14 out here in the D area, okay? We need 33 in the A gap, and we need number 1 in this B gap, okay? But when 85 returns back across, when 85 returns across the ball, all three of them have got to see that. Now we need 14 in this A gap, 33 in the B, and number 1 outside of 50, okay, setting the edge of this defense. Okay, 80 looked like he wanted to crack there, but because he was blocked, he returns out and tries to block the corner. Okay, this should be at minimum crack replaced by the corner and go up and make it, but really we need number 1 to be coming down and setting the edge of this defense. I don't love his alignment here, okay? I think given what we've just talked about, I would be more in a tan alignment or head up on this tackle because the farthest that I've got to get inside is going to be that B gap, or if they ran power, I could just slam the back door in this A. Either way, I think I can get there from a wider alignment, but my biggest challenge here is going to be this exact play here, where I've got to sift through some traffic and set the edge. So I would probably align a little bit wider, but more importantly, I've got to get my eyes in the right place. Okay, all three of these guys, none of them see this wing. Okay, all of them are enamored with this motion, and you just see them all go in the wrong direction here. Okay, and now we're blocked, and this is the result, an 8-yard gain up the sideline on 1st and 10.